Coming up, a disruption with classes right before finals week. How students are feeling with the outage to learning platform Canvas.
And how the Iowa rowing team uses culture to create success.
An exclusive interview with an Iowa alumni and now Pulitzer Prize winner.
And the sun will be out for finals week. I'll have your full weather forecast coming up.
All that and more
coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning, live from Iowa City. It is Friday, May 8th, and I'm Hannah Fideli.
And I'm Liz Schultz. Welcome to our last live broadcast of this semester.
And the third member of our team for this morning, Josie Boyle, is live outside to tell us today's forecast.
Josie, what's this weekend's forecast looking like?
Well, Hannah and Liz, it's the weekend before finals week, and it looks like we'll have some great weather for some outdoor cramming for your exams. Let's take a look over at the Pentecrest. Today we will see a mix of sunshine and clouds with a high in the low 70s, and tonight temperatures will drop to 50 degrees with cloudy skies. Saturday will be full of sunshine with a high around 78 degrees, and we can expect a UV of 7, making it perfect weather for tanning on the Pentecrest if you need a study break. Make sure to get back inside and refocus on your classes in the evening because the temperature will drop to a chilly 40 degrees. Well, Hannah and Liz, I certainly have a full week of exams coming up next week, so I plan to do some work out here by the gorgeous Iowa River. Back to you at the desk.
Students coast to coast could not access their courses online yesterday.
DITV's Ryan Lynch joins us live outside the UI Information Technology Services with Iowa's response to the massive cyber attack. Ryan?
Hannah and Liz, universities across the nation experienced an outage with Canvas, the online learning platform that they use for their courses. Such as the University of Iowa's ICON, or Iowa Courses Online. Some students opened ICON yesterday to the message on screen now. Shiny Hunters is the hacking group claiming responsibility for the attack and listed a deadline until information is leaked. Shiny Hunters is thought to have been around since 2020 and has attacked other high-profile companies before. UI officials sent the statement on your screen now to the campus community yesterday. It reads in part, "We recognize how disruptive this is, particularly as we approach the end of the semester, and we are working closely with faculty to ensure flexibility and continuity for our students." Some students showed concern about the vulnerability of all their information the university collects and stores.
The first thing I thought about was that the school has all my banking information and all of my personal address and just all that personal information. I know they only hacked ICON, but I feel like if they can hack ICON, they can find a way to get to all that information.
And universities were not the only institutions affected, as some local school districts that also use Canvas experienced a similar outage. And the University of Iowa has restored Canvas with limited functionality as they continue to resolve the situation. Live from the University Capitol Center, Ryan Lynch, DITV.
And the Daily Iowan was granted an exclusive interview with the University of Iowa's President Barbara Wilson. DITV's Kate Vernon joins us live in the studio this morning to break down exactly what was discussed. Kate?
That's right, Hannah. Each semester, we meet with President Wilson to discuss some of the major events of the past few months. This time, we spoke about the recent shooting at the pedestrian mall and the recent closings of multiple majors. President Wilson began the meeting by proudly discussing the increasing retention rates.
This year, we hit 91% for first-year retention. When I got here 5 years ago, it was 88%. And part of the way that we've increased retention is by having programs like the First Gen Hawks program.
And the university was recently under fire for the closing of multiple majors, including the African American Studies and Gender, Women, and Sexuality Studies majors. However, President Wilson says that action was not taken as a political stance.
These are internal processes that each college follows, and every time they bring forward programs that show over the course of 5 years low enrollments.
And perhaps the most important topic of conversation was regarding the recent shooting at the pedestrian mall and how the university is responding to safety concerns.
I heard from a student recently that it feels like there are a lot of police there in the evening, and I think that's our goal at this point, to discourage people who are there for reasons other than what we want them to be from being there.
President Wilson also discussed the flock cameras on campus, the updates to the Iowa Memorial Union, and more. You can find the full interview on the Daily Iowan website.
But it wasn't just Barbara Wilson who spoke to the DI this week. State Representative and candidate for Governor Randy Feenstra gave Managing News and Politics editor Shreya Reddy a look into his campaign as the primaries approach in June. Feenstra is launching heavily on the fact that he is a fourth-generation Iowan running a campaign that he says is supported by Iowans.
Yeah, if you look at, people supporting me and contributing to me, they're all Iowans. They care. They're willing to invest in Randy being the next governor.
Feenstra made his priorities clear: protecting businesses and agriculture, improving education, providing quality, affordable health care, and keeping people in Iowa. You can find the full story at dailyiowan.com. And things have also been busy in the legislature. Governor Kim Reynolds has signed 8 more bills into law following the end of this legislative session. DITV's Anshika Gura is live in the newsroom with the latest. Anshika?
Yes, Governor Kim Reynolds has been busy. She recently signed 8 bills into law. One of the laws now allows lawmakers, judicial officers, and attorney generals to carry a firearm anywhere in the state if they're eligible. Another new bill adjusts the state's current definition of child abuse. Now, if a parent is unable to access mental health or behavioral services for their child, the state will no longer consider this child abused. Other bills contain information about federal loans, right of sexual abuse survivors, and the felony status of making threats against lawmakers. More bills have been signed. More bills have been sent to Governor Reynolds' desk, so we can expect to see other new laws soon. Reporting live in the newsroom, Anshika Gura, DITV.
The Iowa City Senior Center added a trophy to its shelf. The University of Iowa awarded the Senior Center the 2026 Outstanding Community Partner Award. The University of Iowa gave this honor because of the Senior Center's support of students in the School of Social Work and the Institute for Clinical and Translational Science through collaborations, internships, and field studies. This school year marks 20 years since DITV's very first broadcast.
That's right, and DITV's news director Kayla Smith joins us live in studio with one of the biggest stories DITV has ever covered. Kayla?
Hannah, Liz, like you said, we've been on air for 20 years now, and this station has seen so much over the years, always giving you the latest in Iowa City. I had the opportunity to sit down with the first ever news director, Becky B. Ryder, to hear about the biggest moment of her college career. Now let's head back in time to April 13th, 2006.
Oh my God!
Fallen streetlights, cracked windshields, and frames of homes were the remnants of the EF2 tornado that had just ripped through downtown Iowa City. Right in the middle of it was Becky B. Ryder, just 10 months into her time at DITV.
The storm had passed from down the hill, but if you look up the hill, you see the tornado just tearing through the pit mall. And my 21-year-old brain at the time had no fear. I grabbed a microphone, I grabbed an extra tape and an extra battery, and I tore up that hill.
Becky was the first DITV news director, faced with leading a team through devastating tornado coverage.
But within, I'm not kidding, 30 minutes, everyone came from their walks of the university, and the team was like full team coverage. And then we came back here. We were sifting through all of our footage, going who got what.
It was DITV's first ever special coverage, 30 minutes dedicated to not just the devastation of the storm, but also the recovery. But Becky wasn't just reporting. She was also mourning the Iowa City she knew and the Alpha Chi Omega sorority house she loved, the place where she used to live amongst her sorority sisters.
Mine would have been, if you see the top window, right, to the right, that was my room. This used to be my dresser. And there's no ceiling right here.
And now, 20 years later, the damage has been fixed. But for Becky, Iowa City today feels so similar, yet so different, especially the DITV studio.
It either feels like yesterday or it didn't happen. You know, like it's absolutely wild to think how many hours I spent in this room, in these edit bays, in that meeting room.
Her time at DITV was short, just a year, but it laid the foundation for the decades to come.
No one had any idea what we were doing back in 2005, 2006, but we made it work.
But things have changed so much over the last 20 years, starting out as pre-recorded broadcasts before transitioning to being live 3 days a week. Charles Monroe is the DITV coach, and he's seen these changes firsthand over the last 20 years.
A lot of people said it wouldn't work. Students don't get up that early in the morning. They won't get dressed up. Oh, I'm so happy I was right. It was just exactly right. The news director at the time, Cole Johnson, said, "Okay, let's just go for it. Let's see what we can do." It wasn't always perfect, but it was live.
But still, at DITV, some things never change.
It's the old phrase, this is a learning lab, and it's an opportunity. Take the opportunity.
And it's thanks to DITV's tornado coverage and the work of Becky B. Ryder that we continue to have the opportunity to continue chasing after stories that seem unattainable or impossible to do. And it's why all these years later, we're still chasing those leads and we're being a watchdog for society. As the news director of Year 20, I'm excited to see where the next 20 years will take us. Signing off for the last time, I'm Kayla Smith, DITV.
And coming up later, an inside look at the Iowa rowing team, what to keep an eye out for this summer in Hawkeye Athletics, our top 5 plays of the year, and a special message from our entire sports staff.
And an exclusive look at an interview with a recent Pulitzer Prize winner, a new tapestry exhibit on campus, and a signature look at the theater we all know and love. Coming up soon.
We're just going to send it right back out to Josie as I'm getting emotional in here. So Josie, what do you have for us for some of the weather forecast coming up ahead?
Well, guys, this nice weather will continue into every student's favorite week of the year. Now let's go ahead and take another look back at the Pentecost. Sunday's high will be around 70 degrees with more sun before dropping to 40 degrees at night. And Monday will be a little warmer with a high in the low 70s. The evening will bring scattered showers and a low of 50 degrees. And temperatures will cool back down on Tuesday with a high in the mid 60s and a chance for more showers with a nighttime low of 45 degrees. And Wednesday and Thursday will bring intervals of clouds and sunshine with temperatures in the low 70s. Well, ladies, I'm hoping this relatively calm weather will calm my own nerves for finals week. Live from the Iowa River, Josie Boyle, DITV.
All right, thanks for that, Josie. But definitely looking forward for summer sports, right, Ryan?
Absolutely, guys. Well, spring sports may be winding down along with the school year, but the Iowa baseball team is still high in action, awaiting the Big Ten tournament later this month. However, before tournament play begins, the Hawkeyes have 2 more regular season series, starting with the Nebraska Cornhuskers this weekend. The Hawkeyes currently lead Nebraska in all aspects series-wise, winning 8 of their last 12 matchups and leading the overall series 32-28. However, the Cornhuskers now threaten Iowa as the 25th ranked team in the nation and one that even may be hosting an NCAA regional. Iowa currently sits in 8th place in the Big Ten, looking to make a final push before tournament play. And for the University of Iowa rowing team, coaching doesn't just come from the staff. It's athlete to athlete as well. DITV's Morgan Burhans is live by the Iowa River to tell us more about the cultural dynamic of the team.
Yeah, good morning, Ryan. I got the chance to take a deep dive into how the team's unique blend of international experienced rowers alongside American newcomers makes for not only a stronger team, but also a stronger culture.
The University of Iowa rowing team isn't just building strong competitive rowers. They are also building culture. The team combines 16 international experienced rowers from thousands of miles across the world with 49 American athletes, most of which have never rowed before.
I just thought, I'd give it a try, and it turns out I really like it, and I really enjoyed the process.
Even with many different backgrounds, the team meshes together to help each other succeed. The international athletes are a large part of teaching to the new rowers.
They've been able to develop in individual boats with me, and I've been able to coach them one-on-one.
Having never picked up an oar before, it can be a challenge to adjust to a brand new sport. Having teammates who have learned the technical aspect of rowing makes a second coaching staff for the American athletes.
They've been really helpful with the process of me learning this whole new sport.
But this exchange goes both ways. The American athletes teach the international rowers American culture and how to make the University of Iowa their new home.
I remember bringing some of my friends home, so I just showed them like some of my favorite places to go and, you know, American restaurants to eat at.
There are plenty of challenges that come with being hundreds of thousands of miles away from home.
When I joined, like, I didn't have any friends, I didn't know anybody, which is kind of strange. And like, I've come to a new country, and obviously when you sound a bit different, everybody asks you questions, and like, you don't know who genuinely wants to be your friends.
But the American rowers are able to give them a home away from home.
I was really lucky with the team to like find a group of girls who actually like I connected with, and I've become great friends with, and now I live with them. They've really taken me in and like looked after me, which has been amazing.
Head coach Jeff Garba believes there is one thing that brings all the rowers together.
The common theme is sport, right? Being on the same team is a great unifier. And sport brings people together, and that's the common theme.
For many of these athletes, their teammates are their support systems. Whether they're from halfway across the globe or right in the heartland of Iowa City, rowing will always connect this team together. Live from the Iowa River, Morgan Burhans, DITV Sports.
Well, from countless laughs in the sports bay to award recognitions and game day coverage, the DITV sports team put together over 126 packages this school year. These include stories from Iowa's Elite Eight run, bowl game coverage, and feature stories. The sports team sat down to reflect on a very successful school year.
Is this good? All right.
So Jake,
Okay.
It happens.
I'd say my favorite moment was any production night. I thought it was so fun. We all just came together, got to work together.
A lot of great memories, but I think my favorite from this year had to be covering the NCAA Women's Wrestling National Championships.
The end of Iowa soccer versus Purdue with Cole in the newsroom.
Ryan said it already, but watching the Iowa-Purdue soccer game with the announcers and everything running around the newsroom, our news director Kayla, who's graduating here, this is actually her final morning show, yelled at us a little bit, told us to calm down a little bit because we were literally sprinting around after the goal.
Give me that alley-oop for the March Madness run in particular, probably the round of 32 win against Florida.
You know, that Oregon game really sucked in the moment. It was so cold, it was raining. I only had like a fall jacket on, but like looking back on that, that game was probably my favorite of the year.
It's when Iowa football played UMass because it was my first time being on field at Kinnick Stadium, and it was electric.
Hands down, Iowa men's basketball versus Nebraska. The court storm, I mean, yes, I may have gotten ran over, but it was so worth it. It was so much fun, and I will never forget it.
It's easy to work with the people here because we're able to get a lot of stuff done, have fun with the coverage, and have good people around you, so you can't ask for anything more.
The final football game will be special. The first basketball game, the final basketball game will all be special. So all of that, just like one more time with all of the years of experience under the belt, I think will be exciting.
I love my staff so much. I feel like the relationships I've made here are going to last my entire life. And I've also learned so much about being a leader. And it's so cool to just do what I love as my job. Like, I get to go and be on the football field, and that's my work. It's just so fun.
That was my last question.
Well, with the school year coming to a close, we've built up a robust catalog from 9 months of Hawkeye sports. We combed through all the best moments this year and came up with this selection as our top 5 plays of the year. Let's start with some honorable mentions. Iowa softball down to their final strike against Minnesota. The true freshman Mariah Myers lifts to left field, and it's off the shed, a game-tying home run, the biggest one she's hit in her college career so far. Another honorable mention, Mark Gronowski versus Penn State. Iowa down late in the game. Mark, QB keeper, takes it himself, the longest run of his college career. Go, Marky, go! All the way down into field goal range, sets up the game-winning touchdown for the Hawkeyes. Look at that man run, gonna miss him in the black and gold. Now moving on to number 5, over to baseball. It's Iowa, Minnesota once again. Carter Geffrey at the plate, 9th inning, first pitch of the inning, a moonshot to left field. You can forget that one. A walk-off home run for Iowa baseball and a big way to down their rival. Now moving over to number 4, back over to the gridiron, Michigan State Senior Day. Mark Gronowski back to pass, throwing with under a minute to go. Reese Vanderzee bobbles it and brings it in down the sideline. What a catch from Vanderzee. It sets up the game-winning kick from Drew Stevens. Go crazy, fans, and yeah, take your shirt off, let them know. At number 3, Iowa soccer versus Purdue. Price Laposer, top right corner. What a moment for Iowa, but it's not just that because they have to continue to fight. The game gets tied into the final seconds. Berkeley Bingley, header in the box, wins it with 12 seconds to go. Number 18, on her birthday, September 18th, a golden soccer goal for Berkeley Bingley. Now number 2, you could have picked any one of this guy's returns. Caden Weechin might be the player of the year for Iowa sports. This one against UMass, he's making them look like they're on ice skates. They're slipping, they're sliding, they're going everywhere across the gridiron, and he is gone. One of 3 punt return touchdowns on the season for Caden Weechin, an incredible year that he put together. And then our number 1 play, you know, it could only really be one play. Down against Florida late, Cooper Koch to inbound. He puts it into Bennett Sturts, the best player on the team, passes up the final shot to Alvaro Fulgaris in the corner. Buzzer beater bliss for the Hawkeyes, and everybody in attendance is going absolutely nuts. Alvaro Fulgaris with the moment of the year for Hawkeye sports. Well, now you can look ahead to the summer. It's been an eventful year for Hawkeye sports, but the fun does not stop there. First off, let's go with track and field. Iowa concludes their regular season starting tonight at the Cyclone Twilight. The Hawks head to Ames with a group of sprinters, hurdlers, and distance runners. Their Big Ten championships are held from May 15th to May 17th in Lincoln, Nebraska. Then it's on to the national competition on the 18th. The final championships will be held on June 10th to the 13th. And after their road matchup against 25th ranked Nebraska, Hawkeye baseball heads to Des Moines for a neutral site series versus Purdue on May 14th. Conference championships will be held on the 19th through 24th. Then on June 6th, Iowa football will host 2 legacy youth camps at Kinnick Stadium. It will be led by current and former Hawkeye players. Tickets will be sold at no cost for those interested. And by the time August rolls around, we'll be back up and running here. We've had a lot of amazing stories this year about incredibly talented athletes and unforgettable moments. From football Saturdays to Days of the Diamond and Hawkeye March Madness, it has been a season filled with incredible memories.
It has been. It's always cool hearing Ryan and the sports staff, you know, break down what's going on. But I think we're going to hand it over to Arts, right, Liz?
Yes. Grace, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, welcome back to our last vibe of the semester. I'm Grace Lathrop, and I'm looking forward to bringing you more arts, culture, and good vibes ahead. To start off, 2 Iowa alumni brought home a major award this week. Authors Daniel Kraus and Ian Lee were added to the list of 40 Iowa alumni who have won Pulitzer Prizes. I was able to speak with Kraus on his recent accomplishment, and he explained that his winning novel, Angel Down, was written with a unique style. The entire story is one continuous sentence and talks about themes such as World War I, survival, and moral conflict. Kraus graduated from Iowa in 1997 with a degree in communication studies and is known for writing horror, science fiction, and fantasy novels. You may know him for his novel Shape of Water, which was adapted into an award-winning film. Kraus is just another example of why Iowa is famously known as the writing university.
The last sentence connects with the first sentence, and so the idea is once you start reading the book, in a way, you can't ever stop reading it. You're trapped inside of it because there's no exit ramps from the story. The least likely place is where I get all my biggest inspirations, and so that is something I learned at Iowa, is to just keep yourself open to every sort of input, particularly in the arts.
In a piece 10 years in the making, the Stanley Museum features a tapestry all about the history of oil through the world. DITV's Hannah Fideli walks us through time.
Entitled The Black Gold Tapestry, this 220-foot-long tableau takes you through time. From the dinosaurs all the way to present day, mixed with visuals and text, all hand-embroidered, taking a decade to complete, telling the story and major points in the discovery and uses of oil.
I think that it's such a huge part of our human history, but also of contemporary events.
It's an energy source, the center of wars, a major innovator, and a contributor to the climate crisis. Artist Sandra Zawatsky is a filmmaker, writer, broadcaster, and has dabbled in fashion. She is known to be a great researcher and storyteller because of her natural curiosity.
And I could be right there, fly on the wall, and just watch people responding to it, and that made me so happy.
And she loves how people of all ages from all over can connect to some part of this piece.
But she's showing the contributions across geographies, across times, across different kind of people and genders so that it really isn't just one story pushing forward, but it's all of these stories coming together.
And this piece will be on display at the Stanley through June 14th, so check it out before it moves on to the next. And the spotlight is on student storytelling as the University of Iowa's new play festival takes us over campus, bringing new works to life on stage. DITV's Anshika Gura has the full story on how this festival creates opportunities for students both on and off the stage.
From script to spotlight, the Iowa New Play Festival features a series of original productions and readings, all created and performed by Iowa students.
People will come out, and I mean, I think it's already sold out, but I think there's a lot of people from town, and that's exciting.
Over the years, this festival has continued to showcase emerging talent while pushing creative boundaries in theater.
There are productions all week, all throughout the day, and different ones every single day.
I've gone to every theater production this school year.
Michael Flores, I've seen a lot of his work here, knocks it out of the park every single time. It's crazy.
Drag Delore, the musical ballroom epic, brings a high-energy story of ambition and discovery, following a young queen with dreams of moving to the big city. As the festival continues, it remains a strong platform for emerging artists and work, from first draft to final bow. Faculty and students work closely throughout the process, creating an environment that encourages collaboration and creative risk-taking.
I saw earlier today Bears, and I'm really curious to see how that would come into a production.
It's kind of the best season of the school year.
This festival turns possibility into performance. From theater building, Anshika Gura, DITV.
And to cap off the semester, I wanted to share a signature piece on the Englert Theater. The Englert has given us so many opportunities and continues to shine in downtown Iowa City almost 100 years later. So without further ado, let's take a look. At the heart of downtown Iowa City stands the old-fashioned marquee sign that lights up the entire street. Its lights, decadent detail, and welcoming colors shine brightly as guests walk through the iconic Englert Theater doors. What started as a movie house in 1912 has transformed into a hub for music, theater, and creative expression. The Englert's history runs deep, as shown on the inside with original details like bathroom stalls and dressing rooms still there from the early 1900s. Englert's executive director, Keegan Hugfeld, has dedicated much of his time showcasing the Englert's incredible history, giving tours to the general public.
This is by far my favorite place to sit up here.
The Englert has been standing tall since 1912, when William and Etta Englert first opened its doors, where they quite literally got to call it their home.
And this was where they lived. It's a pretty incredible story to get to live on a second-floor apartment that then walks down into the theater.
But in 1926, a fire nearly destroyed the theater, causing $125,000 in damage. The building was restored, but this was not the last hardships it faced. In the late 1990s, this iconic theater faced a near shutdown, but it was saved by community efforts. And in 2004, the Englert Theater reopened its iconic doors and never looked back.
People tell me all the time about, well, I saw this movie. I came for my first date ever to the Englert to see a movie and experience this. It means something to them. And honestly, that is really motivating to want to make sure that this entity, this building, continues to be that gathering space so that not only they get to continue making those memories, but their children, their grandchildren, their friends, and their neighbors all get to do that.
The Englert means something to the Iowa City community. For Phoebe Martin, she wanted to choose a wedding venue that held meaning to her and her husband, and this theater was the first that came to mind.
And it just meant so much to us. You know, it's a piece of history, and you know, we're major sponsors of the Englert. We come to so many shows.
Now the Englert is spreading its wings more than ever before. Just this year, they've hosted big names like Noah Reid, Jefferson Starship, and special screenings of movie classics like the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I grew up here in Iowa City. I've been coming here to the Englert since I was a little kid. Just a really awesome space to see live music, and it's been a big thing in my family.
On the outside, the Englert seems like another performance space, but to many, it's much more, holding deep memories and meaning.
Like, takes you to a whole different era. it is magic.
The organization itself actually does so much more for the arts community than just putting on shows.
It brings our community into one space to be a community.
Thank you, Englert Theater, for making Iowa City what it is today. Grace Lathrop, DITV.
In downtown Iowa City is turning afternoons into opportunities for creativity at this past week's Crafternoons event. Community members gathered to make art, spend time with friends, and meet new people. Glue guns, paint, and plenty of imagination filled the Stanley Museum of Art. The Iowa City Downtown District invited people of all ages to take a break from their routine and create something by hand.
Having something where I can just kind of focus on something different is really nice to do. And they've got snacks.
Crafternoons usually takes place every week on Fridays. Organizers hope to continue hosting similar events throughout the year as interest in community art and programming continues to grow. And for our last Feel Good Friday of the semester, one of the best lawyers we've ever seen on our screens in cinema is returning. The new television series Elle released its first trailer. Elle is about Legally Blonde's main character, Elle Woods, in her high school years. The show is produced by Reese Witherspoon herself and will premiere on Amazon Prime Video on July 1st. So stay tuned and be sure to catch the sparkly prequel to the hit films everyone knows and loves. And thank you so much for joining me on the last Vibe of the semester. For now, I'm Grace Lathrop, and I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Well, to celebrate our final show of the semester, DITV's Ken Emertis has a final call for us seniors, so let's take a look.
Sometimes you gotta pray for a victory.
Is it set in, and what do you feel like being able to call yourself an alumni?
It's crazy to think about.
I'm as ready as one can possibly be to call myself an Iowa alum.
It's gone by so quickly, and I just feel like it's only been 2 years. I mean, I transferred from Kirkwood, but just being at Iowa, it's crazy that I'm not going to be in college any longer after this.
Sometimes on the road to glory, you gotta press
this rage bait in the tech booth. I like to say it's going to be a perfect show before every show.
I'd love to see DITV continue being great and just continue doing what it's doing.
One of the biggest draws is the camaraderie. I've made probably a lot of lifelong friends here at DITV, and I would not trade my time here for the world.
I hope that my creativity left a mark. I hope that and also like my curiosity.
Do as much as you can, basically. I think that you will almost never regret looking back.
And don't avoid things because you think it'll be hard, because if you only do things you'll never grow.
I hope that the staff remembers you can be a student and you can be a reporter, and those things like can exist separately.
You are doing things right. Just don't wait for anybody. Like, you know whatever you're doing is right. Just trust yourself.
Brown skin chick, just like Megan Good. Putting up every promise that I ever made. Music in the background, it's a serenade. Been rapping 10 years, boy, this ain't a phase. I pay dues, pay rent, and I stay the same.
Oh my gosh. That one really got me.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm going to miss you guys so much. I'm going to miss this whole place. And I just love my time here, from my first package on as a student here who was a 30-year-old freshman living in the dorm, to doing a ride-along, to meeting Lori Hernandez. Everything has just been so amazing, and I've just loved it. You?
Yeah, Hannah, it's been so great working with you and everybody, really. I've only been here 2 years since I transferred, but I'm gonna miss waking up at 6 a.m. and staying here until 3 a.m. in the morning. I remember last semester, several 3 a.m. nights, but
oh yeah,
I wouldn't be the reporter or journalist I am without all of you here, and I'm so excited for my next journey. I'm really gonna miss DITV.
Yeah, and I just wanted to name some of the seniors by name. So starting, obviously, Hannah Fideli.
Liz Schultz.
We have Kayla Smith, Kibeti Mutumba, Ryan Lynch, Ancha Kagura, and in our tech booth and live shot operators, we have Jasper Murphy, Dan Dickerson, Olivia Comer, Caleb Weasel, Kylie Devane, Eli Cook, Jack Moore. I'm so sorry, I'm still crying. I love you guys all so much, and thank you everyone on and behind the cameras who make this possible.
Yes, well, thank you so much for joining us. This is our final DITV newscast of the year, and Hannah and I's forever.
It's been an honor sharing everything with you, and one last time, I'm Hannah Fideli.
And I'm Liz Schultz. Thanks for joining us.
You ready, guys?
Okay.
2.